Test, 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 test. Okay. Okay. Thank you. We can hear y'all. I know I had some good feedback from yesterday, and it was brought to my attention that I did kind of leave y'all like just in space there for 2 minutes in the beginning. You know, I ain't graduated to the intro music and all that yet, even though I could play my own songs and stuff. That's not really what these are about. These lives are about. So, like I said, give me some time. I'm still learning, getting used to this stuff. So as I continue to do this, it'll get more and more perfected, and we'll be able to rock out with a much more smoother situation. All right. So I'm actually ready for y'all today. So I'm giving a little background briefing of everything as far as that while I'm sharing this stuff. So do me a favor, if you want, to just share it to the people you think would actually appreciate this, and we can go in. Give me like 10 seconds here. It won't be no more than 10 seconds, and we can get started. So actually even better. Oh, and then yesterday I was watched. I didn't actually see some of the questions come up, so I apologize for that inconvenience. And yes, I know it's nighttime and I'm inside the house and I have on glasses. It's because, well, my explanation is because I be working on a computer a lot, and believe it or not, sunglasses actually help block like the blue light or whatever it's called, and that creates the eye strain and fatigue when you're actually working on a computer. So if you do a lot of work on a computer, you might want to look into your sunglasses. So here we go. So yesterday, from yesterday's live, Linda M, aka Malka, as she stated, you know, none of us, if you don't know what we was talking about yesterday, just shoot back to yesterday's live and check that out, and you know, put your comments in the comments below, and we can go from there. So and I like I said before, we be up all the time anyway, so I kind of like the people who, if you consider this late, you know, I feel you just go ahead and get your rest. If you got to tune in tomorrow, catch the replay. But a lot of people that are super thinkers and you know, just overanalyze everything. They be up all night thinking about stuff. So they my people, you know what I mean? And you my people too. Catch it tomorrow if it's not you. All right, so here we go. So Linda states, not one of us want to work, but how else do we survive? You know what I mean? I kind of think like, I feel like I'm an empath, so some of the best things you can do for me is ask me questions, because it gives me the opportunity to actually to think about it. Because of what I'm doing, I'm not gonna give you no BS answer. You know what I'm saying? And I don't pretend to know everything. So one, I didn't see the question yesterday because whatever with, you know, I don't know, it didn't come up and I didn't see it till after the fact. So I don't know. Maybe that's what happens. Maybe it's something I need to check or something. Whoever knows. But here we go. We're gonna get into this. So I got one word for you. You know what I mean? This is why sometimes I'm misunderstood, because the Virgo efficiency factor in me most often takes like long conversations and combines them in like 2-3 words, 1 or 2 sentences, and then people just stare at me sometimes because they feel like I'm being rude or I'm mean, but I'm just direct. So the answer I came up with is what I decided to use as the Wednesday word. And since you guys are rocking with me, I figured we can go ahead and get started early on Wednesday word, so we can go into Wednesday with the word. Okay, so the word is nature, and I did a little digging, you know, when you dig in, you go deep, it come out long. So I'm not gonna keep y'all all night. All right. So the word nature actually means about. Actually, originally it was a noun. About 1275, it was bodily. And by all means, like for real, get you stop if you're watching the replay. Stop the live. Get your pen and pad, and let's take some notes. You know what I mean? Cause I'm going to give you some heavy shit here, and I don't want you to try if it's not really a cup of tea, but you're interested and you want to get into it. Don't try to actually just sit there and absorb all this off the live, or just keep watching it over and over. So however it works for you. If you need a minute to get your pen and pad, go ahead and take a second now to do that. I'm gonna read the definition for everybody else of what nature is. So nature is 1275, right? Bodily process, comma, restorative powers of the body. And then approximately like 100 years later, it was innate character, disposition, and inherent creative power or impulse. And you're like, what the hell? Later on, like way later on, almost 300 years later, the meaning, I'll skip a little part and say this. The meaning, no, I ain't gonna skip a part, I'm gonna give it to y'all. So it's only a little bit. So creative power or impulse, borrowed from Old French nature and directly from Latin, and they spell out Latin, which meant birth, character, from some weird word that I don't know how to pronounce, right? NASCI, be born, and then it says see native, okay? Native, all right? Then it says the meaning of the features and products of the earth is first recorded in 1662. Nature, in the sense used in human nature, is found in 1526. So the nature we think of, Mother Nature and all that stuff, didn't come out till, it wasn't used until like the 1600s, and human nature was 1526, but the word originated in 1275 approximately, okay? So the original meaning was bodily process, restorative powers of the body, innate character or disposition, and inherent creative power or impulse. And I'm going to break that down for you like this was church. You know what I mean? Like I said, any book can be turned into that type of vibe, right? So look at my joint. This is my joint. Show this camera down here, right? This is what you need to go grab up. You know what I'm saying, for this camera. I know it's all tore up because I be in this joint like every day. I'm looking up something. You know what I'm saying? All right, so here we go, right? I prepared a little something for y'all. You know what I mean? So don't be up here like, oh, whatever. Don't judge me like we talked about yesterday, because I wanted to give you something quality and not leave out any vital components of why I'm giving you the one word answer of nature. And I posed a question in the title, because the way I see it is, people actually look at, when they refer to nature, it's everything but us. It's nature's outside, Mother Nature. Oh, nature. Let's go into nature, right? All right. So let's start with the beginning. In the beginning, nature meant nature was bodily process. That was the first part of the definition, right? Bodily process. So, what is a body, right? And what is a process? This is how you gotta look at this message. Nature, bodily process. So what does that mean? Let's start with process first, because I'm going to get heavy on y'all. So let's start with the easy, because body, everybody think they know what body is, right? So process is content of discourse, matter, proceedings in legal action, and journey. Okay? We into it now. Just stay with me. We're not gonna be long with this, but watch. It's gonna get heavy. So matter, content of discourse, proceedings in legal action, and journey. Which when I hear journey, I think of like in this subject, I think of the evolution. You know what I mean? Like we talked about revolution and circle. Evolution means you keep going. If we get on a track, right? We get on a track, like you running a track or racing a track, and we go around circles, you wouldn't really call that a journey. You know, excuse the light. I know it's kind of. Let me see here. Let me see if I can make that a little better for y'all. Bouncing off me. All right. So, you get on a track of any kind, you just going around doing laps, you wouldn't call that a journey. You see, that's what revolution is. You keep revolution. You're going around and around and around and around. That's revolution. You wouldn't call that a journey. You would call it more like a race. Where we heard that word before? That leads into competition and all that stuff. I'm gonna make a whole nother live about that. I got the note from some other stuff I was thinking today to make sure I tell y'all about competition. Okay. Matter, that makes sense, you know what I mean? You already got that. And proceeding and legal actions, whoa. Process, proceeding and legal actions. All the people, alright, so what's a body? A body, now watch this. A body, another word for body is aggregate. Right? I'm going to give you the simplistic form. It means collected into a mass. Flock, herd. This is where you get that statement you've all heard before, that comment, herd mentality, right? Okay? It's where the herd, that's another name for body. But here's my favorite synonym, right? Synonym. I got some others here too. Look, check this out. Synonyms for body: build, figure, form, makeup, shaft, shape, trunk. Right? But here's what I wanted to get to. Constitution. Constitution. I know the Moors out there gonna love this. The people that go present their own cases in court gonna love this. I wonder, have you ever looked at it this way before? The word body means constitution. Now let's put that with bodily process, right? I do the ILY on the end of it, change the little format of it, but bodily process, okay? You with me down there? All right. So, constitution of content and discourse. Constitution of matter. None of us want to work, but how else do we survive? Constitution of proceedings in legal action. A lot of us don't really know who we are, so we haven't documented ourselves. I'll just say it like that. Constitution journey. Alright. Let's go back to nature. Because I said I ain't going to keep you long. So I want to get through this. Alright. So the next part was restorative powers of the body. Nature actually means restorative powers of the body. Also, this is all part of these are the original meanings. So now look at restore, right? So none of us want to work, but how else do we survive? Well, the word restorative, you already know, comes from restore. And when you get to the etymology of the word restore, it means give back, compensate for, rebuild, renew. So if you're out there feeling like we've been destroyed in some way, shape, or form, whether that's whoever you see yourself as part of, because the whole country, is in some way, shape, or form has been destroyed. So if you feel like you've been destroyed or you're being held down or it's time for some new, it's time for a change, look at this. Restorative powers of the body. Restore, give back, compensate for, rebuild, renew. Now the word power actually just means, in a noun form, it's like to be able. So to be able, right? To be able. That's what power means. So when I see a show called, and the title is Power, I'm like, well, to be able to what? Power? Because we grew up watching He-Man. He was like, by the power of Grayskull. He was doing all kinds of, you know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted to be He-Man. So then you go back to, all right, so restorative powers of the body. Linda's question yesterday was, and like I said, I don't have all the answers. I'm presenting this word as the solution to get you guys to in the comments below, let's talk it out. Start coming up with some ideas. Let's brainstorm, because there is no wrong idea. And there's a lot of right ideas. Because what people get irritated with me with sometimes, they'll ask me a question that they want me to focus on one detail as the answer. And I give them the infinitive answer, and they feel like I didn't answer their question because they're focusing on a small part of the equation that has an infinite graph, and I'm going to try to give you the best answer that covers all of that without making, you know what I mean? So here's the reality. Together, we can come up with a solution. Individually, I can give you some ideas. So, Linda's question was, none of us wants to work, but how else do we survive? Restorative powers of the body. Give back, compensate for, rebuild, renew, to be able. And we talked about earlier, the body is the herd, the collection of the mass, the constitution. None of us want to work, but how else do we survive? Give back, compensate for, rebuild, renew, to be able, constitution, the herd, the collection of the mass. I got a couple more things for you, and then we can be done. We're at 17 minutes and change. So this ain't even been as long as your little sitcoms that I know most of y'all don't watch TV. That's why you're watching me, because we're trying to get this knowledge. But you know what I mean? We spend more time doing some other crazy things. So come on, build with me for a second. All right, so I'm going to skip this part about the innate character and disposition and move over to inherent creative power, right? We already discussed power. That means to be able. Now, inherent, when you look up the etymology of inherent, it means fixed or situated in. And then the word situated, I know I told you I go deep, come out long. So means put into proper position. Inherent creative powers. Fixed or situated in, and situated means put into proper position. Right now we all out of position. Well, I ain't gonna say we all. But if you're looking at us as a nation, as a whole, as a collective, as a body, as an aggregate, as a constitution, we out of position. We ain't even got no position. Like, we ain't even organized. Ain't nobody in position because there ain't no organization, so we don't even have positions. You play basketball, you got center, power forward, small forward, point guard, shooting guard. You play football, you got running back, quarterback, halfback, receiver, lineman. We ain't even got no positions. All right, so inherent is fixed or situated in, and the word situated means put into proper position. Okay, so inherent creative power, right? So the next part of that is creative. Now, creative is like it's the adjective of create, right? Some things ain't gotta be that complicated. And that just means to make or produce. And we already talked about powers was to be able, right? So none of us want to work, but how else do we survive? Now see, this is what I'm thinking about. I mean, I couldn't have done all this off the top of my head because I don't have all of this committed to memory. I just keep it real. But I have resources and I know how to use them. That's what's important. The smartest people in the world don't know everything. They just know where to get. They know how to find the information they need when they need it. That's why I always say, don't call me smart. It's all about experience and exposure. And I just have the experience of not giving up. All right, so inherent creative powers. So if I break all that together, if I break it, yeah, I said it right, break it all together. Fixed or situated in. None of us want to work, but how else do we survive? Fixed or situated in. Situated being put into proper position to make and produce, to be able. I'll say that again. None of us want to work, but how else do we survive? We got to put ourselves into proper position to be able to make and produce. That's nature. We need to return to nature. Okay? I'm gonna just stop there because I had some more I was gonna go into. Impulse. Matter of fact, let me just give it to you. Because you asked for it. I'm gonna give it to you. 1 second here, because I want to give you what impulse is. An impulse. So, all right. Let me give you the intro to this impulse section. I mean, it's gonna be quick. We almost done. We had 22 minutes, 28. So that was 2228 for those number people out there. Okay, so impulse, because nature meant inherent creative power or impulse. Now, if you trying to now let's review. None of us want to work, but how else do we survive? It's a matter of content, of discourse. My phone trying to die on me, but we good. We gonna finish this. Proceedings in legal action. The journey is the evolution. We gotta evolve. The aggregate, which is the collective mass, the flock, the herd, whatever you want to say. I prefer the Constitution. I love that word. So that we can give, to be able, I'm going to bounce around a little bit, but this is all what we just went over. To be able to give back, compensate for, rebuild, renew the Constitution, the aggregate, the herd, so we can put us all in proper position to be able to make and produce. That's nature. And that's how we do that shit. And why? Because here's what impulse means. Impulse was probably a back formation of impulsive. So basically, the word impulsive came first, right? So let's skip the little talk about impulse because this is what I wanted. It made me think. So impulsive, probably before 1425, was of medicine that has the effect of reducing swelling or humors. Later it became driving to action. But originally impulsive was medicine that has the effect of reducing swelling or humors. And we all know swelling isn't necessarily a good thing. And humor originally was moisture and body fluid, which, makes sense to go along with swelling. Right? So that's what we gotta do, people. Now the thing is, there's not no one simple answer. Okay, we take 5 and we put 6 to it, and now we got 11. That's all you need to do. That's not gonna work. That's not a unit. There's no such thing as one universal answer for that. Y'all with me? I mean, if you with me, share this to people you know need to hear this shit, and can grasp it, or will take the time to write this down and review it later. That's what I'm doing this for, because that, Linda, was a great question. I wish I saw it, and then even if I did saw it, I'm glad that I didn't see it, because it allowed me the time to actually think it over. And the Most High sent me the word nature. And then when I investigated that word, I found that was the answer for you. I gotta call you back, man. Alright? So, none of us want to work, but how else do we survive? And my answer is not the only answer. But my answer is nature. We need to return to nature. The matter, the content of discourse, the matter, the proceedings and legal action. Like, we need to know this. Why are we hiring lawyers? You know how much money, not just our people, but all people, they already know who I am. I ain't worried about it. You know how much money we spend on lawyers? Why ain't we sending somebody from each neighborhood to go learn law so they can represent the neighborhood? If you don't want to do it yourself, why ain't you investing in the people around you to go? This is, you know what I'm saying? This is why. All right, so I'm gonna wrap it up here. We're gonna review, and if this makes you think about something, post a question in the comments. And like I did yesterday, that'll help me come up with more things to talk to you about, because it makes it easier for me to have subjects. I think about all things, everything. I do this all day if I could, because none of us want to work, but how else do we survive? I'm in transition. I want to see everybody transition out of volunteer slavery into freedom. Okay, that's part of why I do everything you see me do. Everything. Even when you don't see me do nothing, when I'm just being quiet, it's because I want to help promote somebody else's freedom. All right, so let's review this real quick and get out of here. It's 28:23. I'll get this done in 30 minutes or less for you. Excuse me. So none of us want to work, but how else do we survive? It's a matter of nature. We need to return to nature, which is the content of discourse, the matter, the journey, which to me is like it brings the tone of evolution. We need to evolve. We need to know the proceedings and legal action. We need to be able to do that stuff ourselves. Some of us might actually free ourselves from stuff that we don't even know exists if we knew more about the law. And we need to do that as a body, as an aggregate, which is a collected into a mass, a flock, a herd, the Constitution. That's who we are, the Constitution. So that we can then have restorative powers of the body, which is to restore, give back, compensate for, rebuild, renew the Constitution, the body, the herd, the flock, whatever rings your boat, float your bell. So we need to exercise our inherent creative powers, which is fixed or situated in basically put into proper position to be able to make or produce. That's why we're working for someone else, because none of us is in a position to put the rest of us in a position to be able to make or produce everything that we need. So we depend on the government. We need to return to nature. Y'all enjoy your night.